it's this cold out and you got wind blowing on you, just a little coffee. Oh, a little coffee. Look at that. I think we're in business. We want to get set up. Originally, so where I'm at, there's an island behind the camera. Hey buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing on the boat? Okay guys, I'm going to do another Nucanoe Frontier 12 review. I've had this kayak about 6 months now, and I did a video when I first got it, just as I kind of outfitted it and showed you everything I did. I haven't done any fishing videos, so I apologize. Definitely planning on hitting it hard this year. Lots of fishing, specifically catfishing, big flatheads. Looking to haul 30-40 pounders plus out of this sucker this year. So we're in mid-January. I've used this quite a bit, and I wanted to give you a review after about 6 months of owning this kayak. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. So there she is in all her glory, set up here in my garage. And so my honest opinion at this point is I just love this kayak. This kayak is awesome. It's exactly what I wanted as far as you know, the capabilities, the features, the functionality. It's a super stable kayak. You could easily stand in this thing and paddle it just like a paddle board. It works really well with a trolling motor. Now, I was using a trolling motor on the rear here, and I'll tell you what, that was a real pain, because I was using the tiller handle extension, and just turning that thing on and off with the twist, you could actually accidentally turn it on, and the thing starts moving you. So it's kind of a pain to operate, and plus it's behind you. So I had a cord running down along the side here, and I was using that to deploy it, and it was still just a pain to use. It was behind me. It was hard to access. So what I did was, you could see right here, I got this quick release plate, and I bought the Motor Guide XI3 with the pinpoint GPS, which I'm really excited about. It took them a month to ship it to me, and then once I got it, it wasn't working properly. There was only certain features on the remote that I can get the thing to work, and the propeller wasn't spinning. I was getting alarm signals. All sorts of stuff was going wrong. So I haven't even had it on the water yet. I got it all set up on the kayak. I even have the pull cords that I'm going to use set up already to deploy it. So I put one of these little loops here, runs the cord down underneath. It connects to the step that you usually step on to release it, and that'll run down that way, and then I can just pull that, and then I have a second cord that'll be connected up towards the top of the trolling motor that I can control the release of it. The same thing pulling it back in. So it's real easy to deploy and to pull back in. But I got this brand new trolling motor, and it's not even working properly. So luckily it's got a warranty and all that. So there's a local service center for Mercury that I dropped it off to actually last week. He's a little backed up, so I don't know when I'm going to hear back from him. Hopefully in the next couple weeks. But we'll get it taken care of. We'll get it fixed up. As long as it's working when I get it back, then that's all that matters. Just kind of sucks when you get a brand new, expensive trolling motor and it's not working the way it should. So we'll figure it out though. That's going to be really helpful though. It's got that spot lock, the anchor lock, or whatever you call it, the course heading, being able to control it with a remote. That's going to be huge. I won't have to use the anchor as much, and it'll be nice to be able to use this trolling motor on the front of my kayak instead of behind me, so it'll free up that space. Because the other problem with the rear trolling motor back here was that when I had this hooked up, it would get in the way of the rods. So I had my rod store here, and I'm trying to control the kayak, and I'd have to move some of the rods and lay them up front. And so it was just just kind of a mess back here. You should have seen me. There's a couple times where I accidentally turned the tiller handle when I was trying to set it down on the side here, and you know, the kayak starts moving, and it was just not fun. So let's talk more about what I did since my last video, because I've done quite a bit. One of the other things I did was add this here from Nucanoe, and I did that specifically to put the rod holders on, because having the rod holders on this track and trying to fish for 20, 30, 40 pound catfish, I mean, they could easily rip it right off there. This would be fine for smaller fish, having the rod holders in there, but a big fish like a catfish or a muskie, I mean, that's not a lot of support. So I put this on here, and it provides way more support and distributes it more evenly right across the width of the kayak there. So that's awesome. Plus you could slide this thing around, and just look at all the extra mounts there to put different accessories and stuff. So I know a lot of guys put their fish finder up there. I like mine over here, so I got that right there still. And then I have the, what's this called, the jackknife or the sling blade, or I don't know what the hell it's called, but that's where my transducer is. That works really well. It just flips it up and out of the water like this. I put this track mount from Kayak Accessories right there. I also do have the wiring kit here that on the front and the back for the trolling motor battery. So when I was using the rear trolling motor mount, I had the battery up here, so it just plugs in here, and then the trolling motor plugs in back here. That worked out really well. So what I'm going to do with the front mount, because there's going to be a lot of weight up here with the trolling motor, I'm going to move the battery back here. I'm probably just going to sit it right in here, connect it there, and then my trolling motor will connect right here. So that wiring kit comes in really handy. It's easy to install. But yeah, I'm excited to finally get that motor here. So this quick release mount, it's easy to install. It replaces the handle that was up front, so you got to take the handle off, but it uses the existing holes to mount that plate on. And then the quick release bracket from Motor Guide just goes right on top of that. You could still use this as a handle, so you still have that ability, so it's not a problem. What else? Let's see. So the stability of this kayak's awesome. Like I said, you can move around, you could stand up, you could, you know, paddle like a paddle board. You could also turn all the way around like this, which is really nice. If you got to turn around and kind of get into this space, you could do that. This 360 seat is amazing. You could even sit sideways like this, which I did a little bit when I was motoring along with my rear trolling motor. When I had that there, I'd kind of sit sideways like that, prop my feet up here. I mean, it's just a really stable kayak, so that's nice. I also added this roto grip thing, paddle holder. That's pretty sweet. It's just a nice quick way to lay your paddle down quickly and out of the way, but securely. It's not completely out of the way, right? It's sticking up right here, but the other option's to kind of put it here and loop it around, which is fine, but if you need quick access to it, this just pops right up, so that's nice. Let's see here. So I do have the camera mount. I got this big boom stick. I don't know if I'm going to keep that there or not. This is from Kayak Accessories. This is the long one. I forget. I think it's like 50 inches long or 51 inches. It's huge. It provides a nice angle at me. I've tested this out. It works well. The only thing I don't like is when I'm moving around the kayak, it really wobbles a lot. Now, with the newer GoPro, it has that stabilization, anti-wobble, anti-shake feature, which is great because you don't notice that as drastically in the video. But in the kayak, it's just annoying to see this thing flopping around. Now, obviously, it's long, so I could probably shore that up I might get a shorter one to use here. I might even use the gooseneck right here. I'm not sure yet. I'm still figuring out how I want to do that for filming. I could also use this behind me. And the nice thing is you could angle this. So I can angle this outward. I could even mount it back here, up here, have it angled outward, looking at me from a different angle. So we'll figure that out as we go. It's fun to kind of experiment and see what works. What else? So my depth finder here is the Garmin Striker 4. I think that's what it's called. I really just use it for depth and speed and water temperature. I'm not big into like looking for the fish. It's nice to find bait fish and stuff on that, but I don't rely heavily just on that. So this isn't too fancy, but this works really well. Real accurate. So let's see. So I think I've shown all this stuff in the last video. Got my Yak Power rear stern light. I got the black pack here, bunch of gear to put in there. This is nice because it's got a couple extra mounts here that you could use. Got the rod holders, which I use. I like that thing. It pops in and out real quick and easy. The rod holders, not sure if I really like these. My big catfish rods over there don't fit really well into them. I mean, they work fine for now, but I may change that at some point. But they'll be fine for now, so we'll see. Okay. As far as the electronics go, I'll kind of go over that again. So here's this hatch up here. This hatch is nice. What I did was I got this Nucanoe 12-volt battery, and it's underneath here you can see this wire coming in. I got a Yak Power control module over there with 5 channels of power. So I got wiring ran through the hull of this kayak, and so I'll show you how I control that. I have this wireless keypad here that I mount it right here. So you push that to turn it on. So the power's now on. And so if I want my stern light, I got that hooked up to the S. So it turns that on. So you can see my light there. The bow light, turn that on. You can see my lights there. Da-da! So it's funny, the first video I did, I had a brain fart and I was confusing bow and bow, and I figured out why, because I think that was around September, and I was just outfitting this kayak, but I was getting amped up for archery season, for bow season. So I had bow on the mind, but I was trying to talk about the bow of the kayak. That's what happened. That brain fart got me. So the bow lights are good to go. I also have, let's see, number 1 is for my fish finder. So I can turn that on. So that comes on. And number 2 I'm not using yet, so that's available to use if I hook some more stuff up. You can see the fish finder's on. The M here, that's the midship lighting, which is right there. These little LEDs come in handy at night. And so another thing I am going to do, I'm going to use that extra channel that I have. I'm going to put a splitter on it. I'm going to put a couple USB mounts that Yak Power sells. Probably one up here for my camera, and then one back here that I could use for my phone or whatever other USB power I'm going to need. So I think I'm going to use that for the number 2 channel. So yeah, there's my lighting. Works really well. So I'm just going to turn that off here. You can just turn them all off at once like that. So this is cool. I could actually take, I have it on this mount, but you could take this off. There's a lanyard that comes with it if you want to wear it. You can put it anywhere you want. It's just like a Bluetooth wireless connection to, well, maybe not Bluetooth, I don't know, but it connects wirelessly to the control panel, which is under here. So yeah, this is just a nice little waterproof hatch here. So this comes out. You can see I got my wiring in there. So that's all good and dandy. I think that's about it. So I got my anchor trolley that I installed. That works really well. I've used it quite a few times. Got my flag back here. Now I'll be taking this off because this was just for the trolling motor mount. There's a hole right on the back of the stern here that for the Nucanoe cart, which I also have. I have this dolly which I use, but I also have the Nucanoe cart in there, which hooks up through there for easily towing it around. Now with that said, with this thing completely outfitted, it's really heavy. I mean, it's heavy by itself. It's around 100 pounds, I think, without the gear on it, just the seat. When you put all this gear on it, I mean, this thing is hundreds of pounds, especially if you got the troll motor, the battery. So I'm probably going to get a trailer at some point later this year. That'll just make the towing a lot easier. I have a big truck out here, so picking this thing up and putting it in that thing, which has got a 6-inch lift, it's just heavy. I mean, I don't mind it, but lugging it around would be so much easier if I had a nice little trailer I could just slide it up on, instead of kind of laying it on the cement and pulling it off the back of the truck and doing stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to fishing out of this thing more this year. I'm going to be doing tournaments, catfish tournaments. I'm probably going to be doing mostly catfishing. I do some bass fishing, some muskie fishing, but big cats, big flatheads are my bread and butter. I love hooking into 20, 30, 40-pound fish. So that's going to be the goal this year, is to hook into a lot of big catfish and film it and share it with you guys. So let me know if you have any questions. I highly recommend the Nucanoe, the Frontier 12. I have not used it for hunting yet. A lot of people ask me why I decided on this one. So I did have the opportunity to test out some different kayaks, Hobie, Old Town. I love them all. I use them for fishing with some friends who own them. And the reason I went with the Nucanoe was because of two reasons. The stability is awesome, excellent stability. But secondly was the versatility. So this thing is also designed for hunting, waterfowl hunting, or accessing your tree stand if you got to go across a lake, and being able to throw a deer up onto this big platform here, which I used to do with a canoe. So this is how the Boone brothers do it right here. Public land, monster buck. I do have a need for that, but I also waterfowl hunt. You saw my dog, so I needed space and versatility for that. So the beautiful thing is all this stuff pops out real easy right out of all these tracks, right? You could take all this stuff out and have this thing ready to go for hunting. Now I have the shotgun and bow mount, which I have not used yet. You could also get a layout blind cover for this, or you could just do your own thing, right? So being able to put my dog in here with the decoys and the shotgun, having the shotgun holder on the track, this 360 seat, like that all makes a big difference for hunting as well. So that's why I ultimately chose it, was for the versatility for hunting and fishing, in the stability, right? And this thing's American made. It's awesome. The Nucanoe folks have been very responsive when I've had questions and things like that. So I appreciate them. They seem like a good group over there at that company. But yeah, that's about it. So let me know if you have any questions, and be safe out there, and keep an eye out for some more action-packed fishing videos, hopefully coming up here soon. All right, thanks guys.